Why will only Jewish people survive? I never said that only Jewish people will survive. If you look at the prophet Zechariah, chapter 14, if you look at the prophet Yechezkel, chapter 38, it says that 2/3 of the world will be annihilated because they're wicked, and 1/3 will remain. 1/3 will remain, which obviously the Jewish people in the world today, there's only 20 million of us that we know of. There are many that we don't know of, but certainly there's 20 million out of 8 billion people. So obviously we're not even close to 1/3. So certainly there's going to be many Gentiles that survive. And actually one of the prophecies is that each righteous Jew will have 2,800 non-Jews that he's going to be responsible for to teach them Torah, to teach them about God. So they're going to grab his tzitzit, these tzitzit strings, and say, teach us the Torah because our forefathers lied to us. This is one of the prophecies that's in the Tanakh. But the person has to be righteous. They can't be an idol worshiper. They have to abandon idolatry. They have to abandon heresy. But they could certainly survive and go to heaven. And there's Judaism doesn't teach that everyone goes to hell unless they're Jewish. You could go to heaven even if you're not Jewish, but you have to still be according to the Torah. You still have to be righteous according to the Torah, meaning that you have to follow either if you're Jewish, you follow the laws for the Jews. If you're a Gentile, you follow the laws for the Gentiles, which are the 7 Noahide laws, which first and foremost means you have to be ethical in accordance to the Torah. Ethical. So there's obviously more. We have probably 10 or 20 different videos on YouTube talking about Noahides. Highly recommend that people watch it, but certainly there are going to be many, many more non-Jews that survive than there will be Jews at the end, because naturally there's just many more non-Jews in the world. And since the prophets say that 1/3 of the world will survive, so let's say if we calculate it over, let's say it's 9 billion, 1/3 of that is 3 billion. Okay, so even if, idealistically speaking, let's every single Jew survives, which is not realistic because many Jews today are unfortunately against the Torah. Hopefully they all do tshuva, they all do good, and they change their life. But let's say all of them do good and they all become righteous. 20 million survive. That still leaves us 2.98 billion of Gentiles. So certainly it's going to be a lot, but that also means that 6 billion are gone. 6 billion people died, and you notice it. It's not coronavirus. 6 billion people, you notice. So that's also why it's going to take, I believe, 7 years to bury the dead and so on. It's going to be, I have some lectures about the end of times. And I discuss it. Do I believe in the God of the Christians? No. And the reason why is because the God of the Christians, or the God that's mentioned in the New Testament, anyone that believes in the New Testament is some form of Christianity. You can call yourself whatever you want. You can call yourself Messianic Jew. You can call yourself Catholic. You can call yourself Christian. You can call yourself Pikachu, for all I care. If you believe in the New Testament, it's some form of Christianity. So with that being said, the New Testament says that God is 3. God is 3, not 1. He has there's 3 parts. And our God is 1. Our God is 1. That's what we say in the Shema Israel. Hear, O Israel, there's a verse in the Torah. Yaakov Avinu says, Hear, O Israel, Shema Israel, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. Hear, O Israel, Hashem, our God, Hashem is 1. What does it mean 1? 1 means that he has no parts, he has no representatives, he has no past, present, or future. He is all 1. His thoughts and his actions, the past, present, and the future are all 1. He's singular. And I have a short video on TikTok talking about what does it mean a one God. I highly recommend it. It's only about 2 minutes. It explains the one God in a deeper form. But the point being is, when Christianity says that God is 3, he's a son, he's a daughter, he's a ghost, he's Ghostbusters, he's all these things, that's not my God. My God is not Ghostbusters. My God nobody can kill my God. Nobody could hang my God on some cross. Nobody can mess with my God. My God is all powerful. Nobody can mess with my God, and more than that, my God doesn't need anything. So the Jesus God that went to some fig tree, and the fig tree didn't give him fruit, and then he cursed the fig tree. That's a stupid person. It's not a God. Why? If you're God, just tell the fig tree to grow fruit. Tell the fig tree to grow fruit. If you're God, but if you're not God, then why are you cursing it? Why are you cursing the tree? So something's wrong. Well, people that believe in the New Testament, should check themselves because it doesn't make any sense. But my God He creates trees. My God doesn't eat. So that's the thing. I can't believe in the God of the Christians. Now, if you're going to say, no, but Jesus wasn't really God, then you don't believe in the New Testament. Why? Because the New Testament says he is. The New Testament, anyone that believes in the New Testament has to believe that he's part of three things. So you can't just take parts of the New Testament and say, no, I believe this, but the rest of it is hogwash. Can't work that way. Why? Because if this is a lie, how do you know the part that you believe in not a lie? It's like Rabbi Mizrahi says, if somebody tells you, listen, read this book, it's 100% truth, it's from God. And the first page of the book says that the Twin Towers in New York were attacked on February 4th, 1930. When you obviously know that it was September 11, 2001, according to the Gregorian calendar. Immediately you say, okay, there's a mistake in this book. Obviously, I don't know what's in the rest of the book, but I know that the whole book cannot be true. Why? There's a mistake. An obvious mistake in the beginning. And there's also many archaeological mistakes. There's many verses that are mistakes in the New Testament. I've covered this in other lectures. Where I talk about how in the New Testament it says there's Yaakov came down to Egypt with 75 souls. It really is 70. It says in the Torah in multiple places. And it says the wrong address for the cave of Machpelah. There's plenty of mistakes in the man-made document called the New Testament. And therefore, whatever is in it is a mistake. And I cannot believe in such things. I want to believe in the one God that doesn't make mistakes. Can Noahides make the same blessings for food as Jews? Yes and no. Why yes and no? Yes, you can make a blessing for food, but not the exact text as the Jewish people, because the text itself, it says, blessed are you, Hashem, that commanded us to do such and such. So when we as Jews say commanded us, we're saying the truth. Whereas a Gentile says commanded us to do this, he didn't command you. You can choose to bless God before you eat and after you eat and so on, but he didn't command you. So the blessing for a Gentile will be a lie. Will be a lie.